I think religion can be really, really great, especially if you don't really have a good moral compass and you just kind of want those guardrails to really just like secure you in place and you don't go too far. You know exactly where you're going. It's very linear and stuff like that. But I remember when I was growing up, nobody was Christian at all. Nobody was really religion, and nobody had any religion. And people would actually make fun of you if you were religious, but only really if you were Muslim. Like I remember growing up, and this was around the time of George Bush's presidency. That's like my definitive president. That's a dude that I grew up with. I know that some people grew up under the Obama and maybe Trump and stuff like that, but I grew up under Bush, and of course I grew up also under uh, you know Bubba, Clinton, but I didn't really register him. I was too young for that dude to even, be a glimpse in my mind. And I very, very, very vividly remember having my friends who were Muslim at the time. I remember coming into school and I remember people would ask him, "Hey, bro, what time is it?" And he would pull up his phone because they knew he'd pull up his phone and he'd go, "Oh, it's 9/11." And then they would all look at him like, and it was all funny. And it was a joke. It was fun. It was supposed to be like a gag. He was Muslim and he was 9/11. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Yes, it was a tragedy, but come on, you joke around, stuff like that. Stuff like that happens, right? But I knew when I was growing up, I didn't follow any religion, not really specifically. I did grow up Catholic, but not really Catholic, like lied to get into the church and stuff like that. And also at the time, being Catholic meant that you were probably going to have a priest touch you. That's just what it was. I don't know at the time in Boston, it was very common to have children that were being glazed by grown men in these places. So I was always under the impression that I was going to be fondled by these priests. But luckily, I made it out, made it out, and I didn't get fondled. Luckily, hope, that's great, amazing. Dub for me. Some not so lucky, but me, I made it out. But recently, in the last few years, it seems like Christianity has really made like a big uptick, and I'm not really too sure why. I'm not really too sure what's going on, but they found TikTok and they found other platforms, and they're posting, and it's cringe. It's very, very cringe. And for some reason, I know there's like a hierarchy in place. There's God, men, women, and then children, right? And maybe there's something below that, like animals or something like that, hamsters or whatever. I don't know. But in that order, right? And they take it very literally, and a lot of them don't really seem to like women. A lot of them seem like they just kind of just have a lot of disdain, like they really kind of just like looking at them and just metaphorically shitting on them all the time. And for some reason, a lot of these women are just kind of like okay with it. I personally have no idea what that's all about. Like a lot of women are just like, yeah, no, I'm totally fine with him being like the head of everything. And here's the thing. I totally think if you want to live in a very traditional relationship, that's great. That's amazing. But for the most part, just doesn't work anymore. For most people in the world, especially here in America, it just being traditional doesn't make sense because you're gonna have to probably have a relationship where two people are working. I don't know if you guys know, but the economy is really garbage right now. So two people working makes a lot of sense. And then also the things that you would classify as a traditional man don't even really make sense anymore. Like dudes working and then coming home and then cracking beers and drinking alcohol while they look at the TV while their wife cooks and cleans and does all that housework. Why can't you do that too? The average woman is like equipped for all of that stuff. She's equipped for cooking, cleaning, she's been household trained and she works, and she's probably more emotionally mature than like 99% of all men. And then most dudes kind of just think that they can just coast because they have a job. But that doesn't really work anymore because hashtag having a job is not it anymore. You need more than just having a job. You need to be equipped for everything as well, just like women. And there's a reason why there's a single man epidemic right now. And I do think it's predominantly on men. A lot of dudes just suck. And I'm not even here to proclaim myself as this deity of amazing man, because obviously I have a lot of things that I have to work on too. One of my biggest complaints in relationships is I don't express myself very often. I don't tell that other person they look good or beautiful and all this. I tend to be a bully. So I understand that I have things to work on as well. But sometimes I'm just sitting there like, what do you mean you need me to tell you that I think you're beautiful? Of course I think. I literally am. I've been dating you, right? Like, did you think I looked, that I thought you were like a boiled foot or something? Like I thought you were like, elephant balls? Like, no, obviously I thought you look very delicious, very nice looking, very beautiful. But anyway, we're going on a little bit here. The TikTokers, The Christian TikTokers have been going rampant, and I've seen a lot of these videos of these Christian TikTokers just kind of really shitting on women. For what reason? I don't know, but we're going to get into it today.
The top 5 things I will never do as a godly wife.
Number 5, she will never undermine my authority in front of the children.
I don't think anybody in a relationship should be undermining their authority, especially, I mean, this is just like, first of all, I don't even think it has anything to do with being Christian in general. When you're in a relationship with somebody, you should be 100% talking about these things beforehand. Like, I remember one time, my friend asked me, he said, David, I don't know if my girlfriend wants to do anal. What should I do? And I told him, I said, you should probably ask her beforehand, have a conversation about it and see what she says. And then he was like, I was just kind of thinking that I was just going to go in. And I told him, I said, that's horrible. What are you talking? Can you imagine having that happen to you at all? Like, can you imagine if that happened to you? Like, she didn't know if you were okay with it, but when you were on top, she just, you know what I'm saying? Like, just slid a couple in and you're like, oh, well, I thought you would be okay with it. You know what I'm saying? I thought it would be all right. No, obviously we ask questions. Obviously you do these things behind closed doors too, as well, obviously. And, it actually might even be a good thing if I'm being honest with you, because sometimes those conversations lead to other things. And those other things are like, wow, we can do all these amazing things, right? It doesn't always just have to be missionary. It could be other things as well. But anyway, the point I'm making is, you shouldn't be doing this stuff in general in front of the children. You shouldn't be arguing in front of children because they probably won't even understand it. And in general, out in public as well, you shouldn't be arguing. Like, have a solid plan and move on. But I don't think that just because simply you're a man, that means that you're necessarily going to be better in leading positions. I don't know why so many people have this ideology of like men are just better natural leaders. Why? Why would you think that? And if this man is a better natural leader, is he a better natural leader in every aspect? What if like she's better at picking out cars? Like, what if like we have to find a new car and you are really bad at it? Like, you have no idea what cars are good, what cars are bad, what to look for, and all this other stuff, but she does. Do we still give you the main option? Do we still like put you at the hierarchy of, yes, you're going to pick out this car because you're the man? No, obviously not. Please pick out the car. I need your expertise. So in these situations, I do think that sometimes I feel like oftentimes we just literally, as people, as men, they just think that they're better at leading simply because they're men. That's not necessarily the truth. And by the way, also, I'm really sick of seeing women nowadays saying all this. I hear this all the time, this bullshit of, I want to rest in my femininity or whatever. What is that? What is resting in your honestly, I hear it so often now where women like, I just want a man to lead me. And then I'm looking at this woman, I'm like, you're 42. Like, you spent 42 years of your life leading yourself, and now suddenly you want a man to, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, who is this guy? How do you know he's going to be able to lead you? Do you even know this guy? Like, it's just, I understand we all want to be led, or we don't always want to be leaders sometimes, but sometimes I really do feel like this. Do you even know what you're looking for? Like, why would you want this guy to lead you? Why? What are you looking for exactly? I just don't like it personally. Like, you can lead yourself and I can lead myself, and sometimes we can lead each other. Like, why does it always have to be the man's job to lead you? What are you looking for, a dad? Why? That's so weird, dude. It's like, those dudes that are like, oh man, I just want a woman to cook, clean, take care of the house, take care of me. You want a mom. You want a mom. That's what you want. You want a mom. In the same way, when I hear women go, I want a man to lead me. I want a man to make all the decisions. I want a man that gives me finances and stuff like that, and allowance. You want a dad. You want a dad. Okay. And I genuinely think people have reverted. Like, we've gotten so far in society that for some reason we're trying to go back in certain places. Why? Like, we tend to look at like times and places like the 50s with rose tinted glasses. It was garbage in the 1950s. Trust me, most of those women, if you would have asked those women in the 1950s, hey, would you rather live in 1950 right now or 2025? They would go, yes, 2025, every single time. I've even seen stories like written in newspaper articles of women in these eras going like, I'm just monstrously depressed. I have nothing going on in my life. I'm just sitting at home all day. My husband is doing all this great stuff and I'm just doing nothing. This happens, okay? We look at these eras and we go, oh my God, it must have been so great back then. Why? You know what I'm saying? Like, I saw this thing the other day where it was like, oh my God, kids nowadays don't know how to read. And then they were like, but kids like back in the 2000s and the 90s, they were so good at reading. No, they weren't. They were asked to, okay? No kid wanted to read books. No kids wanted to sit there. Like, we tend to look at these eras and go, it was so amazing. It really wasn't, okay? When you were sitting there like, oh, I bet kids back then had a lovely time reading books and they loved literature. No. What are you every kid that I grew up with never touched a book unless they had to. It was like a restraint, you know, and I knew some kids that if they did touch books, they were ripping out papers to roll weed up. So in these situations, I think that we're looking back, rose-tinted glasses, and it's really not as good as people say it is.
If I disagree, which is rare, we talk privately. In front of our kids, we are united front, always.
True. If I disagree, which I don't really ever disagree ever because he's the man and he knows everything all the time. So, you know, this guy looks like he's holding this woman hostage. Just, you know, this genuinely looks like a great relationship, honestly.
Number 4, she never...
I don't think are V-necks coming back? Back in like 2011, V-necks were pretty good. People loved V-necks, but nowadays... not so much. V-necks are kind of, you know, more towards women a little bit. You know, women usually, because they have more chest, right? But men showing it off, I never really understood it.
Kids, we are united front, always.
Number 4, she never withholds sex to get her way.
There's going to be times in relationships where people just don't want to have sex with each other. I know, and you know probably, where maybe you had an argument. Maybe that argument was very, very exhausting. Maybe it was just kind of like, you guys never got anywhere, or you just scrabbling to get ground, and then you go, let's have sex after. Nah, I'm good. I'm not trying to have sex with you. I genuinely don't even like you right now, and I probably won't like you for like the next 2 days. I don't think I want to inject you right now. I don't think I want to facilitate this action into your vaginal crevice. It's not personally for me right now because I'm just mad. I'm upset. And I don't like tend to carry things on, but I know there are some people that go, angry sex is the best sex. Why? I don't like that. I don't like that type. I would like to do it when we're, you know, good and calm and, you know, stable and stuff like that. But for some reason, a lot of people think that like withholding sex is a bad thing. Sometimes I just don't want to do it. You know, I know that there's like this thing of like guys always want to have sex, and that's probably true, generally speaking. And also in a very general sense, in the sense of like, I see a lot of women, like when you have sex, it's very like warm up. You know what I'm saying? You got to sit there for like 25 minutes. You got to do a curse. You got to do one of these on it. You know what I'm talking about? Across the bodies. Maybe you got to hit it with like a Mongolian throat dance. So you're just sitting on the edge of the bed with like a kazoo, and then you take it out of your mouth and just, you know, there's a lot of stuff. Whereas if you ask a dude, do you want to have sex? It's like, I'm ready. Like I'm already, yes, let's do it right. I'm finished. I'm done. Thank you. You really helped me out with that. That was, oh, wow. Whew, that was really good. Thank you so much for that. So I'm going to go in the garage for 5 hours, and I'm going to fucking, you know, hit wood with sticks. That's what I'm going to do. That's, you know, that's generally speaking, I feel like there's a lot of warm up for women, and then for men, it's just like, I'm ready and I'm done, you know, because girls can go a long time, which is sometimes exhausting. Like, why 5 hours? Like, jeez, like, too much there. Like, do you have nothing to do today? But yeah, withholding sex for to get her way. What is she? So she has to give it to you no matter what. Like, she doesn't have a choice. Like, if you're just like horny, it's like whatever. Like, she doesn't matter. She's just like a body at that point. Like, cool, bro. Amazing. Again, seems like a productive relationship.
Withhold sex to get her way.
Intimacy is a gift, not a bargaining chip. I will never use it as a weapon.
Number 3, speak to me like I'm her child.
He is my covering and my protector, not someone to mother.
But he's somebody to father, it seems like. Okay, whatever, dude. Like, these... So it's like, obviously nobody should be talking to anybody like that, especially if there's somebody that's supposed to be your partner. But of course, these people don't look at it as partnerhood, because partnerhood implies that you guys are equal. They don't look at it as equal. They're looking at each other as he is superior to her. So no, they're not even partners. So in this technical situation, for her to be like, oh, well, you know, I'm not his mother. Yeah, you're not. He's like your dad or something like that. Like, this is like the arrangement that you guys have set in place.
My words will lift him up.
Isn't it? Wait, rosaries, right? Isn't it against the rules to wear rosaries? Or is this not rosaries? I don't know. Like, they're wearing it. So, whatever. You guys love God and all this other stuff. So many people nowadays survive solely off the sustenance of the Lord's meat. I swear. It's wild. Like, to get the dandruff, the follicles straight off of, like, the Lord's meat, just in your mouth, getting cheese graters and just, you know? Everybody loves the Lord so much, and I'm just sitting here like, I'm my own person, you know? Like, it's cool that you're Christian, but man, people be slurping this man, and it's cringe.
not tear him down.
Number 2, seek validation from other men.
Well, okay, some of this stuff is like obvious. Like, can you imagine me like a good godly woman is never gonna seek validation? First of all, let's stop for 1 second. A good relationship in general, the person should not be seeking validation from anyone but the person that they're in a relationship with. Why is this even like a godly type of thing? This has nothing to do with godly. This is just a normal thing. It's like, when you meet somebody for the first time, you're like, oh, so give me some, like, what's some things that you really emphasize in your relationship? Oh, I'm extraordinarily loyal. Duh. I mean, yeah. Dude, why do you even feel the need to say that? That should be obvious. Like, that's a necessary. If somebody sits there and tells you that they're a loyal person in a relationship, I'm probably ghosting you, because you're telling me something that should be obvious. I shouldn't have to look at you and doubt whether or not you're going to be loyal. So if you're trying to sell me that and thinking that that's like a winning point, you lost. Okay? To seek validation from other men is not a godly trait. That's a obvious trait. That's something that everybody should be doing. Sorry, I don't know. Like, what are we even talking
Worth is found in Christ and my husband's love, not in attention from other men.
Duh. Fucking duh. Like, why would we even bring this up? Is this such an obvious statement?
And number 1, try to play the role of a leader.
True. She could never. Women playing the role of the leader. Why? You know what I'm talking about? Women, inferior naturally. Obviously, they don't have the ability to think in critical thinking skill. I don't know why we think this, by the way. Like, for a lot of men, they think like, oh, well, it's because they're emotional and stuff like that. Do you not think you're emotional too? Men are traditionally a little bit less emotional, but just in different ways. But usually the men that you see that go, I am not emotional, they be crying over the weirdest stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, and by the way, most of the time, men and women are about the same, especially in the middle, right? So if you go the average man and the average woman, they're basically the same in the middle, right? If there was like a little graph, men and women would be basically the same. It's only on the extremes. So on the extreme ends where you see the really crazy stuff. So usually on the very ends, men tend to be the most aggressive, and on the extreme ends for women, women tend to be the most agreeable, right? So for the most part, though, men and women are basically the same. I don't know why we would expect that women can't lead simply because they're women. This seems a little sexist, bro. But, what do I know, dude? I'm not Christian or anything like that. Sometimes I really do think that we are in the quest of being good religious individuals. We kind of make other people look bad and awful.
God gave my husband the position of head of the home. That's not oppression, that's order.
True, guys. Stop it. Look at this guy. That I know that's right. And I get sex whenever I want.
I don't try to take the wheel, I champion his leadership.
Christian husbands, if you want this to be a reality for you by becoming a high-level husband who is on fire, free, and followed, then
on fire, free, and followed. Cool, bro. Yeah, make sure you comment down below blueprint.
Comment blueprint below, and I'll send you a resource to get you dialed in.
I just really don't think. Like, go ahead, man. Maybe somebody can hit that guy up, and they could find out if there's a blueprint that will help him get followed, fired, and fierced, or whatever. Whatever that is. Hey, I'm happy. I'm happy that you guys are able to. But it seems a little reductionary. I just don't really. I think that in today's world, a lot of this stuff is extraordinarily backwards. And I think that if you're really trying to be like really centered in today's world, going back just doesn't make sense. I see a lot of people going, oh, but women, they don't really do the work that's necessary to maintain society. Do you do the work that's necessary to maintain society? And of course you can go, but men are doing this. But like as time goes on, we're kind of slowly making those jobs more and more accessible to everyone, right? And then I also always hear, men have the least amount of testosterone compared to men from 50 years ago, which is true. And for some reason, people link it to things like, oh, it's the BPAs, it's plastics leaching in your foods, and men eating soybeans and stuff. And then they go, this is the reason, demasculation of men. And then I think, could it just be that you guys just don't go outside? Could it be that you guys are spending like literally 90% of your day just sitting inside, doing whatever you're doing, and then like when you do go outside, it's literally you walking to your car, getting into your car, driving to some place, and then getting out of that car to walk to the establishment, and then we're just doing that same action back? Why do you need more testosterone? So if you're out here and you're going to the, you're going to the doctor and your doctor's like, yeah, you got like 300 free testosterone. You're like, what the hell? It might be okay for you because you probably don't need that much testosterone. Like, you're not doing anything. So wouldn't it be more of a case to maybe get in shape, go to the gym and maybe like work out? Because if you really care about testosterone, that's probably what you want to do anyway. I just kind of think like sometimes we make things way more complicated than they actually are. But for the most part, it's really not. Like, just do the proper things and you probably get the proper outcomes. But, here we are trying to really just shit on women for no other reason than they're just women. And we do it under the guise of God is good, which is really kind of just demonstrable in so many ways. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, and you guys can let me know down below. But either way, thank you so much for watching today's video. I appreciate you guys tremendously. I really, really do. I think you're an amazing, spectacular human being. Thank you so much for watching. If you don't mind, I'd appreciate if you can hit that like, comment, subscribe, sharing the video. Check out the links in the description if you want to show some support to me. If you guys watch the video in its entirety and or you're here right now, leave it down below by type in lips, L-I-P-S, lips, I guess. Is there P-P, L-I-P-P-S? No, it's just lips, right? L-I-P-S. I don't know. It's kind of weird how the English language is structured. Like the other day, it's like roof and rough. People say these words and they spelt the same, but they're not said the same. I don't know. Anyway, thank you. I appreciate you. You're very beautiful today, by the way. Very spectacular. Amazing organism. Good skin. Great eyebrows. Good ears. The drums of your ears. Very passionate. Very beautiful and very delightful to my eyes. But anyway. Make sure you guys check out the links in the description for all my social medias and other stuff like that. And make sure you check them out too, because we stream on Twitch, so you can check those out. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Peace.